All right, time to talk about Raw, AEW Dark, and uh, Impact Wrestling. Jesus. Raw results. I could probably go through Raw fast. Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross. Alexa Bliss beats Nikki Cross because she's faking like she's gonna go back to normal, but she didn't. Drew, Drew wasn't on the show. Lashley and Keith Lee had a match. Keith Lee wins via DQ because the Hurt Business. No, sorry, not the whole Hurt Business. Just MVP interference causes the DQ. So yeah, that was one of our three triple threat. One of our three qualifiers for the triple threat. Winner of the triple threat becomes number one contender. We also had Matt Riddle and Sheamus. Matt Riddle wins. Match was good. This match was probably the best out of the three. Randy and AJ. AJ wins because the Fiend interferes. So yeah, that was what is it? Your main points of Raw, essentially, and then your Team Raw celebration, which is what set this whole thing up. And then Braun gets, in fact, Braun gets kicked out of the building because he attacked Adam Pearce. New Day versus the Hurt Business. New Day. Essentially, we had a double count out first, and then the New Day win. Both matches were great. As the New Day and the Hurt Business have had like one match before. That match was great. So there you go. Yep, Riddle and Sheamus. I talked about that. Firefly Funhouse. Basically, Alexa and Bray saying that the word friendship sucks. And then later we had Alexa beat Nikki. Asuka and Lana. Match ends in a no contest. And then Asuka and Lana team up to fight Nia Jax and Shayna. And who wins? Asuka and Lana, of course, because Asuka and Lana are apparently going to be the next tag team champions. Not the greatest thing in the world, but there's been worse. So, yeah, I got through Raw in like 2 minutes. Interesting. All right, AEW Dark. The longest AEW Dark to date. 3 hours, I think it was. 17 matches. Vipress versus Big Swole. Vipress is an indie person. She's a good wrestler. She was a good wrestler in this match too, obviously. Big Swole versus Vipress. Big Swole wins. Lee Johnson, Aaron Solo versus the Dark Order. The Dark Order win. Chuck Taylor is outside with Orange Cassidy. Trent versus Michael Nakazawa. Trent wins. We've been going through the results because everybody knows who's going to win these matches. It's not a surprise. Red Velvet versus Tesha Price. Red Velvet wins. Match was good. Private Party versus VSK and Baron Black. Private Party win. Rachel Shea versus Rochelle Shea versus Kylan King. Kylan King wins. You got to give the people that lose a lot wins at some point. Case in point, Peter Avalon versus Fuego del Sol. Peter Avalon gets a win, finally. Sammy Guevara versus Marco Stunt. Sammy Guevara wins. Yep, we saw that coming. Sammy and Marco had a good match, though. Penelope Ford versus Dream Girl Ellie. Penelope Ford wins, obviously. Lady Frost and Jenna, Bionic Beast Jenna versus Ivelisse and Diamante. Ivelisse and Diamante win, obviously. Adam Priest and Brandon Cutler. Brandon Cutler wins, continuing his win streak that he's had on Dark for the last 4 matches. Oh yeah, the waiting room segment. So Britt Baker asked her. Some fan asked, "What's your relationship status?" She doesn't answer. Then Max Caster and Anthony Bowens come in. They start rapping, and then that was the end of the segment. All right, the Gun Club versus Cesar Bononi, KTB, and Sean Garis. The Gun Club win, as expected. Panda Express, which is Super Panda and Ultimo Panda, versus the Jurassic Express. The Jurassic Express win. I have no idea who Panda Express are. Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison versus TH2. TH2 win, and then they continue to attack, and then Top Flight come out to make the save. Top Flight and TH2 are going to have a match on Dynamite in the next 40 minutes, as of this video. Alex Chamberlain and Damian Finnar versus the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed win. The Acclaimed they're a decent tag team. They're not that great, but they're decent. Matt Sydal versus Alan Angels. Matt Sydal wins. Fuego. Oh yeah, I talked about Fuego and Peter. Peter won. And then we have Chaos Project versus the Dark Order's Stu Grayson and Evil Uno versus Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. And the Dark Order win. So yeah. That was AEW Dark and Raw. Now I gotta go to Impact. Impact isn't gonna be that long. Rich Swann versus Ken Shamrock. Rich Swann wins. Match was good. Ken Shamrock almost tapped him out, but he didn't. Ken Shamrock got pinned. And then Sami Callihan comes in, tries to beat up Rich Swann. Eddie Edwards comes out to make the save. And then Eddie Edwards gets the side of his head busted open with the baseball bat. So yeah, crazy. Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan versus the Sea Stars. Sea Stars are Shimmer Tag Team Champions. The Sea Stars make up of Ashley Vox and Delmi Lexo. Or Exo, not Lexo. Exo, sorry. Yeah. Sea Stars they're pretty good. Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz win. I don't know if that was expected or not. Wrestlers Court ends with essentially we had a bunch of comedy stuff, and then Larry D was the one revealed to shoot Johnny Swinger. Not Johnny Swinger. Johnny Swinger was on trial. Sorry, Johnny Bravo. Ed Rosemary said that, yeah, I never loved Johnny Bravo, which of course you didn't because you're Rosemary. You don't love it. You don't love people. Of course not. Raheem Raju versus Suicide, who he originally thinks is TJP. He loses, obviously. But yeah, Suicide. Crazy Steve was under the Suicide mask this time. So yeah. TJP still wanting to go for that X Division title. He'll get it under a mask. Like, he'll probably put the Manic mask on, or he'll be the one to put the Suicide mask on at some point, and then he'll win it. So yeah. Kimberly versus Killer Kelly. This was a showcase match. It's supposed to be a showcase match for Killer Kelly, right? Like, she was supposed to win. That's what showcase matches mean, does it not? No, she lost. Kimberly beat Killer Kelly. And then Su Yung comes out and attacks the women's champion and attacks Kimberly. So, yeah, there you go. Ethan Page versus Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle dressed as AJ Styles. So, yeah, Swoggle wins. And Ethan Page and his teammate, Josh Alexander, don't get a tag title shot. So, that is what it is. They'll probably get one before, because Ethan Page's contract is up in January. So, who knows? Maybe they'll go a month without being tag champs, and then Ethan Page will just leave. We're supposed to get Falaba versus Daivari. Eric Young and Joe Dorian come out, beat up Falaba, beat up Daivari. Rhino comes out to try and make the save, and he gets beat up too. So, yeah. Rich Swann and Ken Shamrock, I talked about already. So, the shows as a whole, as far as these three shows go, they were pretty good. All right. See you later. I'm going to watch some more wrestling, obviously, AEW and NXT, and then be back up here tomorrow to talk about them. So, yeah, see ya. Well, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.